Alright, what is going on, beautiful people? So we're just gonna get started with our meal prep stuff much earlier. As you can see, oh, let me move this to the sink. It's chicken thighs defrosting, if you're wondering. You can see we, ooh, is this gonna be hot? Maybe I can show it off? Yeah, it's not too hot. We did the sweet potato egg bake, this time with the hot Italian chicken sausages. Y'all, I'm excited for this. This smells delicious. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that's the way to go. I think that is the way to go. So, very excited to try that on Monday. So, and normally I try to, let's see, right, eat. So, they say things will last about 5 days. I've noticed it tends to go to 7. When it comes to like the egg bakes and stuff like that, let's see, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'll last, I get 6 servings out of it. The thing is with that also, I just noticed I need to kind of make an adjustment on here too. So the thing is with that is, when it comes to the egg bakes, I don't know why in my head, it kind of like doesn't last that long. For some odd reason in my mind, it's, if it's gonna be the 7th day, it is not gonna be going too well. So I try to finish that within 6 days. So I'll probably go Monday to Saturday instead of like saving one for Sunday or something like that. Just because in my mind, it's not the best thing in the world. So, but just, you know, you never know. To be more on the safer end of it, I'd rather just eat it before next Saturday, truthfully, or the last one will be on Saturday, something like that. So I think this was my AM one. Yes, cool. So we're looking around 2,500 calories next week, around 200 grams of protein, 218 grams of protein, more or less. So that's how things are going to be working out. You know, I always put water into these, but I never take off the stickers beforehand. So thankfully, a lot of the vegetables we had prior is going to be used in all of these recipes. So, and we are already having the rice cooking behind us, which is excellent. So like I said, the sooner you cook it, the more you can let it cool off throughout the day, and then overnight it will be nice and dry, and by tomorrow it's perfectly fine. And you don't need to put it, like if you start cooking it today, you don't need to put it in the fridge tonight, honestly. Like you can start putting it in the fridge probably after tomorrow, or tomorrow if you'd really like to. So it's really up to you in that sense on when you want to put it, but you don't need to put it in the night before, and I would not recommend doing that. I just think that it's going to cool off too quickly, and it might mess with the rice a little bit. So just for the sake of it, just I would say hold off on putting it in the fridge, you know, super early. Okay. So most of these veggies are going to be diced. This one we're starting with the pasta fagioli, is how you say it, I believe. So we bought some more onions, bought some more carrots, but we're going to be doing the ones we had prior. We're using the ones we had prior. I think they're only about maybe like 5-6 days old, more or less. So still good, still ready to rock, and all that good stuff. So we're going to be needing around 200 grams of onion. Let's see. Which one do I want to record? Do I want to record the pasta, or do I want to record the, you know what, I think I'll record the peanut sriracha one for like on my phone and stuff. All right. So let's see. I think this one onion will equal about 200 grams. Let's see. If this gets to 100, I think it's going to be a good 200 with that other half there. Oh yeah, I think we'll be more than good with 200 on that. Let's see. Man, feeling a little tired after that bike ride today. And yeah, it's to be expected, right? Let's go ahead and peel off that first layer. I don't think I needed to do that, but it just looked a little ugly, so I took it off. Oh, buddy, pal, I was not looking where I was slicing. Thankfully I didn't slice deep in there, but I seem to have broke the skin a little bit. Oh well. Let's see, let's get this onion down first. Cutting it like this because the finger that I did a little jab with just now is slightly bleeding, so I don't want to get any blood on these vegetables or anything like that. That'd be a little awkward, I feel like. Let's see. Okay, so it's bleeding a little bit, but let me just go ahead and take care of that real quick. Man, that's annoying. All right, we're back. Band-Aid on there, so nothing too major. My scale automatically turns off after about a couple minutes, so turned off with the other onions in there, so I wasn't able to get an accurate thing. So cool, but should have more than enough in here. Of course, I dropped a handful right there. I should probably be able to still use this hand. It shouldn't be too bothersome. So, but yeah, we're definitely gonna have more than enough. Yeah, look at that, perfect 200. So everything else is gonna be fitting into this bowl, I feel like. Maybe not the carrots, we'll see. I do feel like we should be fine though, because the onions aren't taking too much, and really this is just saying to dump all the veggies in at once. So honestly, I think it'll be okay. The onions aren't taking too much space. I'm not gonna need too much onions anyway. We're not putting in celery because I despise celery with a passion hotter than the sun. So we only incorporate that into some dishes, like the chicken noodle soup, things of that sort. But all right, next thing is carrots. So let's get to that real quick. All right, so you know, if there's one thing I can say, is that one of the best things I ever learned to do was cook. I think that genuinely was one of the best things that I ever could have done, not even just in terms of a fitness thing, but just in a life thing. Just because, I don't know, life gets so much easier when you know how to cook. And people are so impressed with it too. It's kind of, I don't know if that's strange, I don't know if that's sad, I don't really know what to make of it, truthfully. I guess just in this day and age, it's not really something people want to do, but cooking to me is a way of showing love, in a sense, right? You're giving someone the essence of life, the thing that they need to keep going. And because of that, you know, to me it's a big symbolic gesture if someone were to cook me a meal and give me that, right? Like, and just giving me food in general, I always appreciate. But to take time to really cook that meal and really kind of like put their heart into it, I don't know. There's something about that to me I just greatly and deeply appreciate, type of thing. So just know, if I'm ever making food for someone, right, it is coming from a place in my heart, type thing. And I am worried that it's not going to come out well. I genuinely do worry about that. Like, I do hope that the food I give, that people do enjoy, right? To me, that's such a beautiful feeling. How many carrots do we even need, by the way? 200 grams. To me, it's like a beautiful feeling. It truly is a beautiful thing. When someone comes to me and like, man, I finished that quickly, you know, or like, I wanted more, so I got more, or they're asking me for more, and it's like, I don't know, something about that just makes me smile as compared to other little gifts, right? Or doing other things for people. So I guess for me, one of those like love language stuff, right, is the acts of service. So I really do enjoy doing that for other people, to an extent, you know, because sometimes people will take advantage of you, and that's just not a fun time for anyone, or anything of that sort. I wonder if 2 carrots is enough. Let's see. Now let's cut these a little bit thinner. Oof. I think that should be good. Should be around a good 200. Maybe not. I'm not very good at judging things. Oh, yeah, perfect. It's a little over 200, but not a big deal. So cool. So we're on. Oh, don't close. Getting through that. Next, we're gonna do garlic, and then we'll do the spinach last. So let me peel out the garlic a little bit, so we can just get straight to the chopping, because the whole breaking part's a little bleh. All right, so we are good with that. Now we just get chopping. Thankfully, with this recipe, we're going with the base amount. So this one is already gonna make 7 servings. I didn't need to increase it or decrease it or anything like that. So 15 grams of garlic, and it's really not a lot to chop, so it tends to chop pretty easily. So I need to do a better job chopping. I'm normally a little more on top of it than this. But yeah, let's see. Getting a lot of this stuff nice and ready. I want it to be minced as, you know, as much as possible, so. Let's click it back in. The problem with garlic is just, I know I've mentioned it before, I just hate the feeling of things being sticky and then how it just sticks to everything. I don't know what it is, I just hate that feeling. It's just, I'm like, ugh. It's like a weird, not a sensory overload, but just like a sensory thing that I do not like at all. Which brings to the point, like I could just use the garlic press, but one, I still get sticky with that. And I can get a food processor, but two, I don't know, it just feels unnecessary. I don't feel like I use enough food to warrant a food processor, in my opinion. Some people may disagree with that. I just don't think I would get enough use out of it personally. So, and also it takes away a little bit of the fun from cooking, right? The enjoyment is doing things doing things by hand, taking time to make sure it's nice and cut, putting everything together, really feeling out what you're doing, right? And sometimes a food processor can kind of take that away. Granted, in that case, right, it could be useful just because I'm already thinking about the comp, right? What if I just am so tired on Sunday, it's going to be hard to prep, which is a big possibility. So what's going to happen is I'm going to need something to help me break all the vegetables down much quicker. So, and a food processor in that sense would come in handy. So I don't know, maybe that's what I need to do. So, because the other thing is I have a $40 like Costco card, like gift card thing they gave me. And what's nice about that is I can probably use that to get a food processor. I was thinking about getting an immersion blender, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Let me get the spinach out real quick. Actually, let me put my clothes away real quick. I'm missing a sock, but it's fine. Not the end of the world. We'll find it. It always comes up eventually. Does this thing require cheese? No, it does not require cheese. Thank goodness, because I did not really buy an extra thing of cheese. So I don't think any of my dishes, my main dishes, require cheese besides that little the egg bake behind me. Let's see. Just rough this baby up. So, and if you're ever wondering how to get started with cooking, honestly, guys, just do it. There's literally no other way to start it, in my opinion. When it comes to something like cooking, like, there's no other way to start other than just doing it. Mess up the recipes, get things wrong, do things out of order. It's fine. You're gonna learn. Like, that's just the nature of life. Like, it's not gonna be easy. In my opinion, life is not meant to be easy. If life is easy, something, in my opinion, is very wrong, right? You can have easy moments, you can have easy days, for sure. But if everything is meant to be smooth sailing, I don't know, that just doesn't seem like the nature of the world to me. And to me, it's like, I want to strive to have easy points in my life at times, but it's also good to seek out for the hardships within it too, right? Find something to be goal orientated for, you know, be ambitious. That's the thing that I kind of used to be like. Well, not even kind of, I was very much like that. I used to be not a very ambitious person, just take it day by day. But deep down, I knew I wanted more. I just didn't believe in myself that I deserved more, that I could do more. It wasn't until I took those steps. And I think it wasn't until I got tired of that, just being like, man, I want something more than what I had. And it wasn't until then that I finally realized that I have to do it myself. I wish there was a faster way to do things at times, but once you realize that there isn't, I feel like it just makes life a little bit easier. You start to realize that it's always going to be hard, and if you can just accept that for what it is, you can start making progress in whatever direction you want to go into, right? Whether it's starting your own business, starting your fitness goals, schooling, like it's going to be hard. Accept that fact. It's going to be hard. You're going to have losses. You're going to be in debt. You're going to be in this and that. Accept those as just something that's already happened. And when you can start accepting that, you can start making progress, because then you start thinking, well, okay, how do I overcome it, right? At least that's my thought process when I first started with this stuff. I didn't know what I was doing. Shoot, it was like the beginning of the pandemic. I didn't even have there was no gyms. I had to buy just a regular old squat rack, not even a combo rack, just a squat rack, a barbell, and two 45-pound plates. And I got some adjustable dumbbells, which they totally gypped me on, because height of the pandemic, all that stuff cost a crap ton of money. Thankfully, I was able to save up some money because I was an essential worker at the time. And I guess I still technically am, right? But I was an essential worker, so I still had a job and money coming in. And I was able to save up to get those things. And over the next couple of months to years, I was able to build up a little home gym at the time. And that's just kind of how I started my journey, with basic workouts, not knowing what I'm doing, overworking myself, just doing everything probably wrong. But as time went on, I learned and slowly just changed about it. Hold on, let's get to this next thing. So we have that done. All right, back to it. You think this is 400 grams? Look at this freaking massive guy right now. My gosh, huge guy. Onions, carrots, and spinach. That is what the buffalo chicken pasta requires. I'm telling you right now, I'm probably gonna eat this twice, like 2 weeks in a row, because it is such an easy dish to make. Oh my goodness, this is such an easy dish to make, guys. Like, I cannot express that enough. Well, hold on, I need to wash this. All right, back to it. Massive guy, massive guy. I love it. But I don't know. There comes a time in life when you have to accept that it's going to be challenging, and that the things you want are never going to come easy to you. And honestly, it's not really that fun if it does come easy to you, right? I feel like it gets pretty mundane and boring in that sense. But it's really hard to sort of ignite that in yourself, and I get that. I was like that for many, many years. It took a pretty sour relationship and finally being fed up with just how I looked and how I felt, that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna change. And admittedly, it was a little bit out of like anger. Actually, it was a lot out of anger. So, but with the help of weightlifting and therapy, I was able to overcome a lot of those mental struggles there. So, but it's hard to try to find that. It is. And that's sort of the one thing I try to work on with my clients a lot, is when you're in a situation where you are legitimately trapped and you cannot get out, a lot of your rights are gone, etc., etc. How can you find meaning in your life? How can you find a way to cope with what's going on? How can you overcome a lot of the trials that are in your path right now? In an environment that they feel is very much against them, and can be for sure. So, and it's just, how do you overcome that? And it's not an easy question. And at the end of the day, I don't have the answer for it, because for each person, for each of you, it will be very different. It really will be. And it's just about thinking, at least for me, right? Like, what's stopping me? Why is it stopping me? What about it scares me? And why am I letting that fear hold me, right? That was a big part of it for my decision to, try to go back to school next year. I still have to go through interviews and all that stuff, but there's still a lot that goes through my mind, like, what's stopping me now? And it's a fear of, like, what if I fail, right? Because if I fail, one, if I don't get into a program this year, I continue with my job and go forward, right? Great, easy. But what if I get into a program, and this program is out of state, so I have to uproot, move my entire life somewhere. And now I get into this program, things go south, and what happens? Well, I get flunked out of the program, I get kicked out, I drop out. What's going to happen next, right? I left everything for that program. I'm going to have to find a place to live, a place to start life. I'm going to have to somehow get my license renewed. in that state, which can be time consuming. So in the process of that, what am I going to be doing? How am I going to eat? Where am I going to sleep? What am I going to do? So many questions that come up that if I fail, this is what's going to happen. And are you willing to take that risk? To me, yes, 100% willing to take that risk. I am without a doubt ready to take that risk, you know? And if you have people to support you along the way, that's excellent. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It just means you're going to have a little more support. But yeah, it's still going to be hard, still going to be long and lots of sleepless nights, stress. But again, at the end of the day, when you reach that goal, it's going to be all the more worth it in the end. It really will be. It really absolutely will be. Why is this onion so hard to take off? My goodness. Give me a second. This was legitimately one of the hardest onions I've had to ever peel in my life thus far. Like, what was up with that? That just felt unnecessarily difficult. Let's see. Ooh. You know, I've been getting really into knives recently. Like, I've been looking online at, like, what are the best cooking knives and stuff like that. Man, knives are expensive, but they're so cool. Like, I don't need them in any way, shape, or form. They're just cool. I just want them. Let's see. So we need 400 grams, and I think this might be enough, or it might be close. Oh, that's perfect. Have a little bit extra. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. 400s. You know what? This is barely anything. We'll go ahead and just add it to it. So next we're going to be doing onions and then spinach, and then that's it for the buffalo chicken pasta. In terms of veggies, we just got to prep the meat tomorrow, but that's usually like right before we start cooking, so it's not a big deal. Obviously, we like to do that the day of. Well, we are going to marinate the peanut sriracha one, the chicken for the peanut sriracha rice bowls, but the buffalo chicken one, you just put like salt, pepper, garlic, and just put that in the oven for a little bit. No big deal. All right, so with this next thing, we're gonna be making matchstick carrots. You can get like pre-shredded carrots or whatever it is. I got this off of Amazon. It's like a multi-wheel thing that has different shredders like and peelers, like just a normal peeler, but this is to make like a matchstick type of like carrot in a sense. So just know this is asking for matchstick carrots. However, if you're unable to do that, dicing the carrots works just as fine. That's what I used to do in the past before I got this. So, or like I said, just get some pre-shredded carrots. That way you don't even have to worry about the cutting part. It's whatever's more convenient or easier for you type thing. So, all right. I find that I like to just make a flat portion. All right, you can still get a lot of the matchsticks from that side, but getting a flat portion allows you to hold the carrot down a bit better. That way you can just shred it down this way. Now, I feel like the professional way, right, is to, like, as you're shredding it, turning it over and over. I'll be real with you, I don't really care to do that at all. But, you know, to each their own. Ooh. To each. Ooh, there's multiple cards. To each their own. I'm also really bad at this, as you can tell. We have more, we're just using the last two carrots from our last thing, our last little prep right now. Like the thing I was just cooking, the pasta fagioli. So I don't think this will be 200 grams? Yeah, 300 grams, I'm sorry. And 340 grams of spinach. That's not gonna happen. They're gonna get 255 and take it or leave it, so. The thing is about spinach is that it's such low calorie, like even if you had like added, well, that's done. Even if you did have 340, it's not gonna make that big of a difference, admittedly. Like it really doesn't, at least in terms of calorie wise. Maybe texture wise there might be something there, but I personally never noticed it. So I'm just saying, when it comes to spinach, just kind of put that sucker in there. Just get a bag and put it in there. The ones they have at Vons are just like 255 grams or 227 grams, depending on which one you get. I think this one's 227. Yeah, so just getting that, dude, you're fine. Like, literally. Unless the main dish is spinach, which I don't know why you would do that, but yeah, teach their own. Let me just freaking shake through this real quick. All right, cool. We shredded it. We had to get a little more carrots from our, you know, their little carrot stash we had back there. So, however, we have enough. So once you have it all ready to rock, just go ahead and dice these things up. Really, just do this, Sandy. Super easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Take it slow, don't go too quick like I'm doing, because carrots will start flying everywhere and it'll get a mess, and you'll get frustrated and angry. There we go. So, I like to try to essentially like dice it up a little bit more. I mean, similar to like roughly chopping the spinach, but I like to get it a little bit more thinner and stuff like that. Just because I think it makes a nice texture with everything. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So I had it in there because I was measuring it out. So everything is ready to rock now. It is, well, it's not 300 grams, but it's 299, so good enough. Good enough. So I think all that's left is to do the spinach. We've already seen that, so I will go ahead and cut to the last thing we're prepping. Hey, what's up, folks? We're back. So I'm going to do things a little bit out of order. Normally I cut the onions first. I mean, really there's no specific rhyme or reason. I just prefer to cut them first to get them out of the way. However, I'm going to do the carrots first, use this bag to separate them, and then put the onions on top of that, because the onions will go in first, cook for a few minutes, and then the carrots will follow soon after. So I think it's, to me, it's a better way to help me save space. Essentially, it's what that is. So did I go too far? I think I might have gone too far. Well, let me cut the tips off these carrots first. Ooh. Let's see. And with these ones, you're only going to be shredding them into ribbons. You're not going to be dicing them or anything like that. It's going to be shredded into, yeah, I went too far. Shredded into ribbons. So, in other words, you're just peeling them. There you go. It always takes a minute. As to why that is, I don't know. You're getting 200 grams of this. So you're going to shred it, and then it doesn't say to cut them up, but I like to do little bigger chunks. I find that when they're just long strips like this, they don't always distribute evenly. So just for the sake of having a little more even distribution, I like to cut them in like half at least. So, but you know, up to you, whatever you want to do, more power to you. There's nothing wrong if you just want to keep them straightened up like this. So it's honestly probably a bit easier too, and you know, like one less step to take. But again, that's just my personal preference in that. And we need what, like 200 grams? So it says 4 medium carrots. I'm pretty sure these are like 3 micro carrots, but we'll see. We'll measure it out. Let me just get through. You can't really get much with that, so sorry. Let me just get through the rest of this real quick. You know, one thing that's kind of coming to mind right now is also bringing up the fact that when I normally do shred carrots like this, they're pretty freaking huge carrots. So that's why I tend to cut them down to size. These are tiny. These are tiny, tiny carrots. So I may not need to cut them all down to size. Some of them are a little bit longer than others, more or less, but you know, just kind of wanted to point that out, that with these carrots, they're a little bit smaller. So with the bigger ones, yeah, I cut them in half. These ones, not as much. All right, so the carrots chopped up, put to the side there. Bag is prepped and ready. So we're not dicing these ones. We are slicing these ones. So the other onion, fortunately, was kind of already chopped through a little bit. You couldn't really, slice it at that point. So we're gonna save it for another recipe, another time. So let's see. And we're looking for 200 grams of these bad boys. So let's see. And you know, thinking about getting another container to put like the egg bake in. You know how the way I'll put it inside the protein oatmeal bake in a similar fashion. but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. Oops. So many things could have gone wrong in that one moment. Also, I'm recording on my phone right now too. Well, like not recording, but recording clips on my phone and stuff like that. So that is why little fellow is right there. Cool, should be good enough. And we'll get 200 grams, put you back up. Like that. Okay. So, oop. I'm curious. I don't think one onion will be enough. These are smaller onions, so, you know, going to be obviously less in weight there. So I think I am going to need both of these ones, but I'll measure it out and see where that goes. And once again, the skin is the hardest thing to take off for some reason. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna pause this. So good news, the onion's a paid actor. The skin came right off as I paused the video, so that's annoying. But also, we are at 207 grams, and we need 300 grams. I think I had said 200 prior. I was wrong. I was completely wrong. I had once again lied to you. So, but should be close to enough in this. I'm presuming, oh, I guess we're gonna need that last little extra bit there. Maybe we're gonna get the rest of it from this. Let's see. Man, it's so inconvenient because it's like just barely enough. Still, yeah, there you go. So whatever, put the rest in that. This one we'll just save it, add it to like a little, I don't know what we'll do tomorrow. We'll figure something out, but cool. And I think all that's left now is to marinate the chicken. So we'll get that ready real quick. All right, so we are gonna start marinating the chicken. And as you can probably guess, and I kind of said it earlier, we're going to be recording this one on my phone for the little shorts and stuff like that. Need to put that away soon. And I need to, well, I don't need to, but I'm gonna change this Band-Aid. It's like orange from the carrots and all the other stuff. So let's see, 28 grams of mayonnaise. Wunderbar. Oh, what, it doesn't want to work now? That's annoying. All right. It's not open. Now it's open. Oh, wow. We nailed that pretty well. Oh, actually. There you go. There we go. We nailed that pretty well. I was gonna do a joke where I like toss one in there, but now that there's mayonnaise in there, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna pour it all in bit by bit. Oh, the Band-Aid's coming off. How gross would it be if the Band-Aid like just fully came off, like into the food? So we'll do a slow-mo with this one, and we're putting 30 grams of sriracha. Oops. Okay. Hold on. Sorry, I had to wash my hands a little bit after that. 30 grams of this. Ooh, I'm on top of it today. We got some more rice wine vinegar in case this one ran out, and it's almost done, but it's okay. I'm gonna leave this over here. Rice wine vinegar, then I'm presuming the onion powder and garlic powder, both at 12 grams. So I refilled this just now, which was nice. Let me go and get this. Perfect. 12 grams. I like onion powder, but I don't want the air being like that. You know what I mean? And then garlic powder, we always do slow-mo because in my mind, you just do that with garlic powder. It looks pretty when it's like slow motion, so. The same thing, 12 grams with this. Okay. Sometimes it takes a minute to read it, so just FYI. 10, 11, there you go, 12. So, seems like a lot, but remember, we are cooking with 4 pounds of chicken here, so. And then from there, just 12 grams of salt, which honestly, actually no, don't put as much salt as you want. That's not going to end well, but you can be a little more lenient with salt. Also, salt's heavier, so it's going to pick up a lot quicker. There you go. Beautiful. So let me go and put these away real quick. Have the thing off to the side for right now. Now we're just mixing it together. It's going to become like a thick paste, you know, almost. So, but you do have to make a point to really stir it together and make sure you incorporate everything. It's always the kind of the weird part with these sauces, right? Just kind of making sure you're getting everything incorporated very well. So, and I move that thing off to the side because I'm just going to record with my hand for this next part. So, but I do like that thing. I kind of messed it up a little bit. It's a little bit broken in some areas. Doesn't help that I've accidentally run into it and kicked it and all that, you know, all that good stuff. So, but that was bought to me by a very good friend that I very much cherish and stuff like that. So, I try to use it as much as I can, and it's super convenient. You know, helps a lot. So, okay. Let's see. It's fine. We'll use this. It's not like the chicken touched it. Well, I mean, the chicken's going to touch all of this anyway, so it doesn't really going to matter. Just trying to make sure we get it all off on the sides and everything, so it's just nice and clean. Could use your hands. It's also another possibility. So, and just for reference too, the chicken is sitting in the sink. I had washed them and kind of let them dry out in there a little bit. So now we will go ahead and dump the chicken in there. Yeah, let me just put the chicken in there real quick. So chicken is inside here, so now we're just mixing everything as best as we can, trying to like just get as much of it in here. It's always going to be awkward to start off at first, but you will eventually be able to cover them all in there. So let's see, garlic, because I have some chopped garlic right next to me, obviously, so that's for the sauce tomorrow, so I got to put that away. I thought it was for the chicken, but it's not. Yeah, it's not. I don't know why I thought it was for the chicken, but. So let me just do this real quick, and then I think that should be it. Alrighty, folks, so that's pretty much it for the prep. Everything else is going to have to be cooked pretty much tomorrow, so just now putting everything away and all that good stuff. So I always like to put saran wrap on the top. To me, it's like the whole contamination thing, you know? Just trying to be safe as you can. Now, does this actually work? I'll be real with you, I have no clue. But for my own peace of mind, I'm gonna do it. So, because I have chicken breast and I have this inside the refrigerator. So, yeah. Just putting that away and making sure it's good to go. And then that should be it on my end here, folks. So now what I get to do is enjoy a nice lunch, and then I think I'm going to see a friend later. So, all right, y'all. Good for now. See you tomorrow. Good morning, beautiful people. All right, it is meal prep. It is time to meal prep. And golly goodness, I don't know why chicken breast is always so wet like that. I have like swapped out this tissue multiple times already, and it still just gets soaked like this. It's disgusting. Oh gosh. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and remove everything from here. So we have some some water boiling right now. Hold on, let me just clean this up a little bit. Oh, goodness. Well, I just spent the past like 5 minutes cleaning up a mess right now. The freaking chicken breast juice somehow just got everywhere. Like, what the heck was that? What is that ridiculousness? And that's cooking now, which is good. But what the heck happened there? Oh my gosh, like that really frustrated me just now. It's like throughout the day, defrosting that chicken breast, I was literally swapping, you know, the napkins I had in and out, in and out, in and out, but I guess that wasn't freaking enough. My goodness. Like what? I can't even begin to fathom why, you know, what the heck? Man, hold on. Well, anyway, other than that damn fiasco, that was something. Yeah, I don't even know where I was at this point. Buffalo chicken pasta. So, gonna be doing that. The chicken breasts are actually a good size. Normally, when I get them, they're pretty thick, and that tends to be a little problematic in that it's not gonna cook too well, right? But in this case, they're actually not too bad thickness. I think that's a good size. Normally, they're like really, really thick. So, what we're gonna do next is go ahead and season these. So, let me get that real quick. So, and I have the pasta boiling as well too. So, I'm not gonna be too concerned about that. Should be done in about like another 8 minutes or so, more or less. So, just getting some garlic salt, onion powder, and then some lightly salt and pepper, and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, and it's, what is it, 4, I woke up at technically 3:53, but I went back to sleep until about 4:26, so it is now 4:47. Figured I'd get started really early, so, and I'm a little tired, but nothing too major, nothing like it's gonna completely drain me down or anything like that. So it's kind of weird. I thought I had more chicken than this, but this is about 4 pounds, so more or less should be fine. Not a lot of salt, because we're going to have a lot more once we cook the recipe and all that good stuff. And of course, flip it around, do it to the other side. You're supposed to air fry these 400 for like 10 to 12 minutes. My air fryer is not that big, so I'm going to just put it in the oven. No big deal, 400 degrees. Same thing. So, let's see, I'm going to flip that over. I always feel weird about when it like says to put the seasoning without putting like oil on it first, but that's what it says. It's what it says. So I'm just gonna go with it, and it's turned out fine each and every time. So that's why I don't really change it. If it didn't turn out very good, then yes, I would probably see if I can have something that will help coat it better. But in this case, it's fine. So let's see. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump up a little bit to when we are putting this away. All right, so we'll get just to the next step real quick. Just got everything lined out, washed everything too. I'm using rice or frozen rice cauliflower just because Lord knows I am not gonna want to actually like make rice cauliflower. So I'm just warming that stuff up. This is easy. It's rice cauliflower. You're not gonna taste it anyway, so might as well just go with that. I mean, I guess you could get like the lemon one, right? But it's just there for the extra veggies. So, all right. So pasta is cooked. Go ahead and dump that to the side, or dump it out. Oof. I could have. Ooh, this could be very, very bad. Nope. We're good. We're good. Sick. Dig it. That works. Awesome. There we go. Let that to the side and just let that do its thing. Cool. Let's go ahead and get cooking with the veggies now. That's the main thing we gotta do right now anyway, so I should probably get that out first, huh? Not sure if you can tell, but this is the smaller pot here, so the oven is ready, but I want to get started with the actually, you know what, we'll go ahead and put the chicken in. Get that out of the way. I usually put that top rack anyway. Go ahead and do that. And then set that for, I usually give it an extra 2 minutes when I'm doing it in the oven versus the air fryer. So 7 to 10, but I'm gonna do around 12. That's kind of just the way I've always done it. And then says to flip it halfway through. If I remember to do that, great. If I don't, it's honestly not a big deal. I don't really flip it most of the time anyway. So go ahead and raise that up a little bit. The first bag of cauliflower rice is done. Go ahead and let that sit out for a minute. And then put the second one in right now too. So now we're gonna get our veggies, which I think at this point is really just cooking all of them. So, yep, that's it. Some oil, onions, and carrots, and cook for 3 to 5 minutes. You know, I think what I'm gonna do actually is wait till the chicken gets closer to being done, because I think it's just gonna be easier that way. Yeah, I think it's gonna be easier that way because I can put everything together more all at once. So we'll be right. You know what? This is already heated. It's ready to rock. We're gonna do it. Just do it. It's fine. There's no time like the present. So, this side here. Get our little wooden spoon. Okay. Mix that around. And you're gonna know when it's more or less done because it's gonna be the onions are gonna be translucent essentially. So that's sort of the kind of what you're looking for there. Let's give this a few minutes. Say like three to 5 according to this. And then with this amount, I'd say 3 to 5 is a good time frame. You don't need to wait longer like I've done in the past. Cool, so that's pretty much ready to rock. And we just have to wait till the chicken finishes, and then we just gotta dice that up and then put it all together. So the cauliflower is warmed up. The spinach tends to wilt as you're putting everything together, so it's not that big of a deal. Right? Oh, well, I guess we can add in the cauliflower and spinach now. Probably that's the better move, so everything's just ready by that point. So let me go ahead and get that stuff. Let's see, you know what? Before this explodes all over me and I just get upset, let me just use that monkey brain of mine and cut open the bag. LOL. So. Oh, and one thing I didn't show was that I had salted the onions and carrots and stuff like that, just to help bring out the moisture. It's just, in my opinion, it's sort of the move to make with that, just so it cooks a little bit faster, which is nice. All right. Ooh, almost dropped the little spoon or ladle I was using. Okay. And then the spinach. There we go. And just cook this until the spinach wilts, as always. That's how you know that's pretty much ready to rock. Yeah, we'll just cut to that real quick. 6, so we got 4 minutes left on the chicken. So, and this is now officially done. So we'll combine everything in a moment. So normally the recipe says to get the pasta in like a bowl, mix everything together in that sense. However, the order I do it in is veggies, pasta, cream cheese, a little bit of Frank's Red Hot chicken, and then a little more Frank's Red Hot sauce for the buffalo sauce. So however you want to do it's up to you. That's just how I tend to play it out with that stuff, just because it's allowing me to use one bowl and nothing more. So to me it's easier that way, but again, to each their own. So let's let this chicken finish and then we'll cut that up and get back to it. All right, chicken is done. And let me tell you right now, it never looks that appealing. It never does with this recipe. It never looks that great, but you're not going to really see it that much because you're going to be you know, mixing it together with everything there. And let's see, let's get everything moved over. This shouldn't be a problem. I should just move this. This is like such a hazard, and I'm not gonna lie. I didn't flip it halfway through, which, whatever, not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. Like I said, I rarely do that anyway. So we'll let that cook. Transfer this over. I hope I don't cut to it. Cool, and at this point you're just gonna dice these up. So cut them evenly into how best you see fit. And the other thing I'm gonna wanna bring up too is the fact that this chicken's gonna be warmed up once more. So if you are cooking it and it comes out a little like it looks red, you, for all means, please put it back in the oven, cook it some more, right? Put on the grill or the pan, whatever, cook it some more that way. Understand too that you are going to be warming this up in the microwave, right? So as long as the internal temperature is fine, and when you warm it up, there should be no redness type thing. But even I get a little freaked out by that. So when I do see some redness, for the most part, it's very much like, you know what? It's just for my own mental health, my own mental sake. I'm just going to put this back in the oven for like another 5 minutes or so, something like that. But really, it's more up to you on what you prefer, right? So, you know, just be cautious every time you cook, but don't always be too afraid with certain things, right? You know, because remember, it is going to be microwave, but a lot of people, understandably, are not a big fan of that, of like using that as a way to finish off the red, right? So just you know, think about that for a minute, and if you're okay with it, try it out. Just be safe. I'm not telling you to do that, because last thing I want is for you to get salmonella, get sick, potentially pass away. So, but that's just what I've done in the past, and it's kind of come out fine. But if it's super red, just put it back in the oven. Just put it back in the oven. Put it in the grill, put it in the air fryer, whatever you got to do. Just cook it all the way through if it's like super red, because at that point the microwave is not going to cook it. So, but yeah, let me just chop this up real quick and we'll get back to the main stuff. Oh, and the other thing is too, right? So I didn't cut these in half or pound these down because I didn't think they were like super thick or anything like that. The reason you would normally do that is to help cook it all the way through, right? That's what would allow you to make sure it gets cooked all the way through. So if you do have a thick piece of chicken breast, pound that thing or just slice it in half. Trust me, it's going to save you a lot of energy, a lot of time and effort. That way you're not worried about if it's cooking all the way through. So just kind of wanted to throw that there as well, just kind of FYI. And third and final thing too. So remember as well, chicken breast can be easily overcooked. It can dry out and stuff like that. So even if there is a little redness, you're also going to be cooking it back in there too, inside the pot with everything else. So just keep that in mind, right? Like think of all the different stages that you're going to be cooking at. And if you see it's a little red, but you're like, oh wait, I'm still going to bring this back and cook this some more inside the pot, then, geez, almost sliced my finger. Then just be aware of that, right? That way you're not overcooking the chicken and having this little like rubber ball in your mouth type thing. So again, little things to help you just remember along the ways as you're cooking. All right, let me finish this up real now. Alrighty, folks, we are back to it. So let's go ahead and add the pasta. And it says for 340 grams of pasta. I'll be real with you, I only had like 225 in here. I didn't really care to open up another box and just, you know, use half of it. I'd rather just use whatever I had left and go with that. So that's cream cheese is what we're looking for next. So you could do like 1/3 fat or light cream cheese as I have here. I also have just the regular cream cheese spread, but whichever floats your boat in that sense, right? So let me go ahead and get some to scoop this out. The Philadelphia cream cheese is really nice just because you could just dump everything in there very easily. But it's also like $4 a little bar, and I just don't want to spend that right now. It's like kind of expensive. This is only like $2, so I'd rather just have that. Make life easier. And slightly cheaper. And honestly, it actually kind of, it tastes the same. To me, at least, it tastes the same. So I don't really notice much of a difference in that. Let me get the other one. I would have preferred to have 2 light cream cheese, but unfortunately, they were completely out except for the one I found. So I got lucky in that sense. So I'll take that. Okay, I'll take my luck in that sense. But now I'll go ahead and get this. Dump it here and get the rest out. Beautiful. And we're going to incorporate this together first. Let the cream cheese melt a tad bit. And then we'll add in the buffalo chicken pot. I mean the chicken. We'll add in the chicken to everything. But I want this to mix together first. Love the taste of cream cheese. So let's try our best to get that melting. And if you want to, which is what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to incorporate a little bit of the Frank's Red Hot sauce. Boy, I dropped everything, man. Just a little bit of it. Oof. There you go. And mother effer. And then once we add in the chicken, then we will be able to add the rest. Not the whole bottle, that's unnecessary, but just add a little bit more to give it some more of that buffalo flavor. Nice. Okay. And I don't know if I showed it, but I did reserve a little bit of pasta water on the side. So we'll go ahead and incorporate that. And now, let me just use this to get the chicken real quick. All right, go ahead and dump the chicken. And then we'll mix all that together. Ooh. And remember, the chicken is cooking once more in here, so give it a few minutes in there, and trust me, everything will be nice and ready to eat. So, all right. So before we get completely rocking in there, let's add some more sauce. Now you can make your own buffalo sauce for sure, right? There's no wrong about that. However, if you don't really know what you're doing, like me, or if you just don't really have the time or want to put in the effort, also similar to me, then just get some Frank's Red Hot sauce or whatever buffalo sauce of your choice, right? It doesn't have to be Frank's Red Hot. I just prefer Frank's Red Hot because I think it tastes really good. So at this point, we are done. The buffalo chicken pasta is ready to rock. Let me go ahead and add in that pasta water. To be honest with you, I'm not sure what that does, but it says to reserve a side, and then I'm just assuming you pour that in there. So there we go. Maybe it makes it a little bit soupier, thicker, or something like that. Don't entirely know, to be quite real with you, but. And there is a video on how to like properly cook this on his channel, so just again, go with that. This is not a tutorial. This is just me kind of talking and going through my morning meal prep for the week. Oh wow, that pasta. So, you know, being transparent, never really added the extra pasta water before, and it's making it a little bit nice and thicker. I wonder if that's the point. But anyway, so we are done here. I'm just mixing everything and letting the chicken cook a bit more. And with that, we're pretty much done. So I will go ahead and get transferring this over, and I will see you guys on the next prep. Let's cut to that. Hey guys, so I just wanted to kind of come on here real quick and just say that I'm gonna do the peanut sriracha chicken rice bowl right now. I'm going to do that off camera for the sake of time, and then I will just end with the new, well, not a new dish, but a dish I haven't recorded on here, obviously, the pasta dish that I'll do after this. So yeah, I'm just gonna do the peanut sriracha chicken rice bowl right now, and then we'll cut back to when I'm getting started with the pasta dish, so the beef pasta dish. So yeah, sorry about that, folks, but it's just for the sake of time and kind of just making sure I get everything right. I'm gonna do this one off camera, so all right, see you in a minute. All right, so we're back. Peanut sriracha chicken rice bowls are done. Where is my cooking spray? Should be in here. So we're gonna get started with this. It's gonna be the pasta fagioli, which will be nice. So we're gonna start with browning the beef is really what's gonna happen. Then we're gonna transfer that over to that little stove top pot or pan right there, and put it to the side, and then we'll start cooking all the veggies inside the same pot. So as you can tell, a lot of my recipes tend to be very much like a one pot recipe, and that's on purpose. I'm sure you can figure out it's easier that way, less cleanup, and just less hassle overall. So let's go ahead and open up my beef. We have 2 pounds of 93.7 ground beef that I got from Costco. Now you could use other, leanness in terms of that stuff. The recipe does call for 85-15. I have like 88-12, things of that sort in the fridge as well. I just got some 97.3 at Costco. It was like five little packs of these for $24, something like that. So I'd say overall it's a pretty solid deal. You know what I mean? So let me try to get these out real quick. Oh my gosh. Wow, that was like the hardest thing in the world for some reason. Anyway, let's go ahead and get browning on the beef. Get my wooden spoon. So, and because it's 97.3, I'm using a little more spray oil in this. Like I said, if you're using anything with a higher fat content, I mean, you don't really need to worry about oil too much because the fat's going to render out and make some good cooking juice. All right, so we're going to let that brown for a little bit. In the process that I'm doing that, I'm going to wash these dishes and I'm going to open up the cans that I have over here. So it's part of the recipe. All right, we're back. So this is coming to a nice light boil. So should be ready to rock pretty much at this point, I feel like. So, man, I feel like I should skim some of that. Yeah, let me do that real quick. Let me skim some of that top part off there. So, just to get a little bit out. It's gonna take a minute. So, a little more oil. Or spray oil. Move this off to the side a little bit more. Ooh, don't hit me in the face, please. And then we're gonna add in the crushed red pepper flakes and allow that to bloom for a little bit. So, yeah. Add in crushed red pepper and allow it to bloom. So, we're not gonna put too much. The last time I put a lot in here, oh baby, did that bite me in the butt. That's enough. That is more than enough, I feel like. So, let that cook and bloom. And in this case, because there's not a lot of fat, right? There's not a lot of liquid in here. You kind of want to stir it around a little bit just because it's going to burn otherwise. You want it to bloom. You want the smell to come through. Just like that. And then now, oh, wow. There it is, yep. Oh, yeah, there it is. Now, add in carrots. So we're going to add in all the veggies at this point. Boom. Get that in quick because the pot is getting really hot. Probably lower the heat on that a little bit. And then we're going to mix everything together. I'll put that right here. There you go. And again, it's key, like legitimately it is key to mix everything, in my opinion, consistently and constantly. Just because this stuff is very much prone to burning. And if you feel like you need to add more oil, then add more oil, right? Spray oil, regular oil, whatever it is you feel is best. So the onions are already cooking quite fast. So we're gonna lower the heat a little bit, and then we're going to get all that stuff. So we need to add salt and oregano. Forgot about that. Take a second. Oregano. Excellent. And then salt. This is one of his more older recipes. So, how much salt? Let's see. Kind of just says add salt. So we're gonna add a little bit more. There you go. It's one of his more older recipes, so it's not as, like clearly defined as compared to his more recent ones. So, meaning that some steps might seem a little confusing, but once you get it down, it's pretty easy to follow. So, okay, that in there. Excellent. Great. So, Season lightly. Cook for about 5 to 10 minutes. I don't know about cooking. Oh, I guess in total they've been cooking for about 5 to 10 minutes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add the beef back. Excellent. Mix that together. This is not a dish I do too often. It's good, just it's not my most favorite dish, but I was kind of craving it this week, so we'll see how this comes out. And then we're going to be adding the petite diced tomatoes, tomato sauce, and the beans. So we'll go ahead and put this. Petite diced tomatoes, 1 can. Easy peasy. Tomato sauce. And we have our beans in a little container just draining. Because you know how when you get canned beans, it comes in like the little bean juice. Pretty sure you don't need that in this recipe. It doesn't specify. It doesn't tell you to drain them. But in most cases, you drain them. So, excellent. And then we're going to go ahead and mix that up. So, chicken broth. Oh, and water. That's what we need to do. Where's our chicken broth? Excellent. So, it says chicken broth. I couldn't find any at the store, so I just got chicken stock. Done it before. Literally, it works just as fine. So, and you're using the whole container too, if you're wondering. And 480 milliliters of water, which we could just use this. Normally we'd like to measure it out, but at some points it's not a big deal. There you go. Yeah, good enough. And I actually like to have less water sometimes, just because water tends to be the enemy of flavor. So the more water, oh my gosh, the spices are kicking into me. The more water you add to something, the less flavorful it can be. Oh my gosh. Oh, did I F up somewhere in here? I don't think I did. So anyway, elbow macaronis, had these for a while. They're the small ones. I would recommend getting the normal sizes. Oh my goodness. It smells good if I can be honest with you guys, but hot damn, I don't know what's going on with me right now. Anyway, put everything together, mix it all up, and we're going to bring this bad boy to a nice light boil. So raise that up just a tad bit, and then back to the grind. So excellent. Okay, so we're going to let that boil up for a little bit, and we will come right back. All right, so everything is nice and cooked in here, nice and browned. Now I'm going to scoop everything out into this over here. Just kind of leave it on the side. I'm using one that has a little, like, you know, the multiple holes in the bottom, just because it allows for any excess grease or fat to remain in the pot, which is what I want. But again, 97.3, there really isn't going to be much in there to begin with, so, you know, it's just kind of how the nature of that goes. We're just going to add a little more oil and then go from there. So. All right, so one thing I've noticed over time too, we're still going to let the beef cook because it's not all the way cooked through, but I've noticed that once you have it a little more browned, it tends to break up easier. So you don't need to smash it or break it up so early. You can just cook it a little bit and then it'll break up a little bit easier. So this needs to go for a couple more minutes and then we'll transfer it over to that and begin with the vegetables. So I'd just like to point out, I don't know if you can see it, but that's essentially the type of browning you're going to want per se. So getting it dark like that and then making sure it's cooked all the way through and all that good stuff. So still cooking everything, getting the cans open, be right back. All right. Beautiful day today. So let's see how this is coming along. We're going to test the noodles. That's really sort of the thing we're looking for right now, is if the noodles are soft, right? So we're going to try to find one of the tiny macaroni noodles. We'll just get a bunch of it, it's no big deal. And still a little hard. I think we're going to give it literally one more minute. I think legitimately one more minute is the way to go. So 7:36. And after that, that should be done. This is a quick and easy recipe, y'all. It's super simple, nothing too intense. Once that's done, actually, you know what? No, we're done because we're gonna add the spinach right now. And by the time the noodles get a little more developed, it's gonna be perfect. So we'll go ahead and add the spinach. And as I was saying, this is a super simple recipe. Not a lot of effort really goes into, well, yeah, not a lot of effort really goes into it. Most of the time spent is gonna be with the prep. So, ooh. I do recommend getting regular sized macaroni noodles. The mini ones are fine, but again, I just want to use up those ones because I've had them for a while. I think I accidentally bought them at some point, and I was like, well, whatever, and we'll just use them at some time. And that was like months ago, so might as well use them now. And now what's going to happen is we're going to let the spinach wilt, and everything will be ready to rock. So this tends to be a little bit more of a soupier recipe, right? Now, if you want, you can boil out some of that extra liquid, but I think it's fine like this personally. So nothing too much to complain about there. And what you can do too is just have less water, right? That can also be another factor in that too. Less water or less chicken stock, but I recommend having less water because less chicken stock means less flavor. So, and yeah, that's pretty much it. My forearm is sore, man. You know, from working out, but feeling it right now. Maybe too much early morning in bed workouts type thing. Just kidding. But yeah, so we are done there. And that's pretty much everything at that point. Now it's just seasoning it with salt and pepper, which I'll do right now, and then plating it up. So, all right, guys, we'll get to the ending in just a moment. All right, so now we're gonna bring this to a low heat, medium low heat, and then put this lid on here. This will allow some cooking to go down, and it says to pretty much have that lid on for a few minutes, which unfortunately doesn't specifically tell you how much longer it is. So I'm gonna do 5-minute increments, and then we'll check on that in a little bit. All right, we are done, folks. So, man, my forearm's acting up. I did arms and, you know, shoulders, and I use fat grips whenever I do curls, you know, on those days, just so it also works on my forearms, and I think that's just what I'm feeling right now. But anyway, we have ourselves a nice little meal prep all laid out for us. So it's going to be a little bit different in the sense that we have 5 meals this time around. Normally we do 3 to 4, depending on how I'm feeling and what I'm making. However, this week I decided to give myself a little treat, and not everything's going to make it through the week, and that's on purpose, right? It's going to get me Monday through Thursday, and then Sunday I'm going to be eating these meals. And a big part of that is this one I'll probably take with me on Friday, but everything else will get me to Sunday essentially. And as you can probably guess why that is, because weigh-ins are Friday, so I'm going to treat myself after weigh-ins and treat myself after the competition. So, but yeah, let's get to it. First things first, as always, we're back to the protein oatmeal bake, which is going to be good. Have some chocolate chips in there, milk chocolate flavor, because I am a sweet tooth and I like that stuff. Dark chocolate is really good too, but I just prefer milk chocolate, at least this week. And we have a new little egg bake. New as in it's still the same thing, but it is the egg bake, but this time with hot Italian chicken sausages as the main meat, which is going to be really good. It smells really good, and I cannot wait to taste it. I legitimately am very excited to try this meal. So, our lunch is going to now become a peanut sriracha chicken rice bowl. Done this before, always very good. Something that I feel is a staple with my rice bowls most of the time. If it's not honey sriracha, it's peanut sriracha. So very good all around. Highly recommend that dish from mealprepmanual.com. My second dish, my pre-workout meal essentially, is going to be pasta fagioli. This is a pretty big sucker right now. This is 800 grams, a little over a pound of food, right? And let me tell you right now, like this is almost 2 pounds of food actually when I think about it. This is only 600 calories. Believe it or not, that's a pretty good cutting meal. And it's like, I think around 50 grams of protein, more or less, something like that. Now, obviously, depending on the type of beef you're going to use, you'll get more or less calories. But using 93.7, I'm telling you right now, that's a pretty good cutting meal. And that fills you up very well. And after that, for dinner, we're going to have the good old buffalo chicken pasta. This dish is one of my favorites personally. Very easy to make, very flavorful too. So, and it's just an all-around nice, like hot dish to have. So, especially with it getting a little bit colder nowadays, something like this would be nice to warm me up, along with the with the pasta fagioli. So, that's pretty much it on my end, folks. Making sure my mic is still on. Today was a pretty good meal prep. I mean, it was nice that I got to do these yesterday, so it took a lot of stress, and probably would have taken me another hour or two if I included these today. This was about a three hour long meal prep, maybe 3.5 hours more or less. And actually, no, it was 3 hours because we started around 4:46 and it's pretty much 7:56 now. So, but we finished before that. I was just setting everything up. But yeah, 3 hours, not bad. 1 hour each meal. These ones really took the longest just because I was taking my time putting in the oven, letting it cool, blah blah blah. This was like 10 minutes, it was super quick. So, all in all, this was a pretty good meal prep, guys. And hey, next week is coming. It's Monday, folks. Some of us may be dreading that, but it's okay. We can absolutely handle it. Always can be, and always will. Let's take on next week. You can get through it, and I will see you guys. Well, actually, I'm not sure what the plan is. I'm going to talk to my coach. I'd like to do some accessory work throughout the week, maybe up until Thursday. That way I can rest fully on Thursday and then rest fully on Friday, and then, Saturday is game time. So, but just in case, I'll see you guys tomorrow.